And joining us now is Dr. Meir Javedanfar, an Iran lecturer at Reichman University. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
No problem. So at least 100 people were killed in the twin explosions in Iran. Now, the U.S. said they were not involved, and then there's no indication that it was Israel either. What is your take? Who could be behind this? Iran has many enemies.
Correct. First of all, many innocent people were killed yesterday, and my commiseration to their families. This was a brutal act of terrorism, and I've said my commiserations in Persian as well. This is, terrorism knows no nationality, knows no religion. The regime, of course, blamed Israel. I mean, this was a very much knee-jerk reaction, and some Iran scholars in the United States also, who've been living in America for a long time, have blamed Israel also, like Professor Vali Nasr, immediately blamed Israel, among others also. This is not how Israel usually operates. Israel does not do mass civilian casualty attacks. In terms of when it comes to special operations in Iran, we've seen from previous operations that Iran carried out that have been attributed to Israel, in the foreign press, that they've been very precise. I mean, according to the New York Times, Fakhrizadeh was assassinated right next to his wife and sons, and nothing happened to them. They did not suffer so much as a scratch. And we saw another operation attributed to Israel recently in Beirut. I mean, Beirut, Tahia is a very populated neighborhood. And 4 Hamas people were killed and no civilian injuries. So this is not Israeli, extremely unlikely that it was Israeli. And also, last but not least, remember, Israel would not want to kill innocent civilians, Iranian civilians. If anybody, I recommend this to you and to your viewers. If at any time you feel that Israel is isolated in the world and that nobody's backing our position, please go to Instagram and check out the talkbacks on the of news regarding Israeli attacks against Hamas. Iranians are celebrating every time a Hamas terrorist is killed. I've never seen anything like it. It's like a bar mitzvah online. All the news, Al-Aruri was killed, the amount of congratulations that Israel received from Iranian participants on Instagram really was tremendous, and it's not out of the norm. So, and this makes it another reason why it's extremely unlikely that Israel would want to kill innocent civilians like this.
Now, Iran is blaming Israel. Is this part of their tactics to up the resistance against Israel?
Look, the regime is desperate, to be honest with you. The regime wants to rally the people around the flag. There's so much distrust and mistrust of the regime in Iran today. I promise you that if you did a survey today, I'm willing to put money on the table. If you did a survey in Iran today, that if you ask who was responsible for yesterday's terror attack, you would find probably more than half of Iranians saying that it was probably the regime itself. There's so much mistrust of the regime. After the way it shut down a Ukrainian airliner for 3 days, it said, no, it wasn't us, it lied. And how on so many other occasions it has lied to the people of Iran, that people of Iran don't believe anything. And also false flag operations have been, prior to the revolution with Cinema Rex in Abadan, where 400 people were killed by Islamic terrorists, to a bombing in the city of Mashhad, which also turned out to be false flag, increases these kind of tendencies in Iran that the regime is responsible for such operations. Of course, in this case, there's a good chance that it was not. It was probably Daesh. But this is the level of mistrust and distrust in Iran, and the regime just basically is desperate to claw on anything to try to rally the people around the flag. And one of the ways it's doing it's accusing Israel. Also because the regime is hoping that by doing so, it's going to strengthen its position in the Arab world during the Gaza war.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are some assumptions that ISIS could possibly be behind this. Do you believe that this is a possibility?
I think it is a possibility. Of course, ISIS is the enemy of Shia. ISIS hated Qasem Soleimani. First of all, because Qasem Soleimani fought them He organized the anti-Daesh or militias in Iraq and in Syria. When they wanted to retake this, when Daesh was about to attack, I think some people say even as far as Baghdad, it was first and foremost a fatwa by the most senior Shia cleric, Ayatollah Sistani, who's in Iraq, of Iranian origin, of course, who gave a fatwa, and it was Qasem Soleimani who arranged the Popular Militia Force, PMF, Hashd al-Shabi, to fight them. So this is one of the reasons that they hated Qasem Soleimani. Another reason why they hated Qasem Soleimani and the Iranian regime is because, prior to Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki, the Iraqi government was doing well, reaching out to the Sunni communities of Iraq. The Sons of Iraq project by General Petraeus was very popular. But as soon as there was a reconciliation with the Iraqi Sunnis, which was the first time since the Iraq invasion by the Americans. So the Sunnis felt that, okay, somebody's counting us. Now we're being seen, we are visible. But then Nouri al-Maliki came and did away with all that and, continued with very anti-Sunni policies. And that, some people believe, is actually one of the reasons that led to the creation of Daesh. So that's another reason why they hated Soleimani, because Soleimani was a major player with Iraqi politicians, Shia politicians especially, such as Nouri al-Maliki, who did so many terrible things to the Sunnis in Iraq.
Yeah. Dr. Meir Javedanfar, thank you very much for this important input and insight on Iran.